Howdy folks, I'm lackadaisical long-tailed skipper, lazily laying on lush lawns.
I'm Amber.
And here are more lush lawns for us to lazily lay on because we're a butterfly and that's what we do. Let's get started.
Yes, I tried kind of butterfly things for these first ones. I'm sure they will eventually become unhinged when I run out of ideas, but so far we're being vaguely butterfly-like.
Yeah, don't worry, Bernard appreciates the unhinged one. Let's get started. Oh, and folks, we have a live stream coming up tomorrow. Can you believe it? Friday already. For more information, please see the end of the video. Let's get started. All right, folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Throwing My Boyfriend's Secret Collection Away? I'm a 22-year-old female and my boyfriend is a 22-year-old male, and we have been dating for almost 5 months. He is great in every way, and although we haven't been dating for a super long time, we decided to move in together. He already had a 2-bedroom apartment all to himself, and I was in a difficult roommate situation, so naturally, it just made sense. Well, the day of the move-in, I was making room for my stuff at his place and just genuinely tidying up. He had clothes on the floor in the bedroom, and I was starting to pick them up when I found a duffel bag under his bed. I grabbed it, and it felt very light, but obviously had something like clothes inside of it. I promised that I wasn't trying to be invasive, but since laundry was already on my mind, I opened it. Inside, I found maybe a dozen pairs of women's underwear, and my stomach turned. My first thought was of Jeff Goldberg from You, and I felt disgust. I collected myself, and I went to confront him as calmly as possible. I found him in the living room, and I confronted him, asking why he had it. He looked surprised for a second, but then calmly told me that it was from former encounters, to put it delicately. I asked him why he needed it, and I told him that he needed to throw it away. He refused saying anything and said that they were memories. I argued that I couldn't just see why anyone would need to keep something like that. He told me that he wasn't going to get rid of them and that I would just have to move on. Being overwhelmed by moving in and now this, I went through the day beside myself. Was I making a huge mistake? He had been great in every sense of the word up until this point, but it made me question so many things. That night, when we went to bed, at one point I realized that I was laying directly over his disgusting bag and ended up not sleeping the whole night. The next day, after he had left for work, I decided that I would just get rid of it myself. I threw them away in the dumpster and put the bag back under the bed. I didn't tell him that I did it, and as far as I know, he still is not aware. I'm now nervous about how he's going to react when he finds out, but I just couldn't bring myself to sleep over something so gross. And if I'm being honest, it makes me look at him differently. I'm still in love with him, but it makes me question what he's capable of and what goes on in his head. So am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
I mean, I think you just need to throw the whole man out here, OP. It's been 5 months and you just learned out he has a really creepy secret, and I think it's probably worth trying to find a new living arrangement. The thing is, like, I don't know if these were given to him consensually or if he took them. That's my biggest concern in all of this.
Yeah.
Like, if they voluntarily gave them to him, that's weird. It's not something I would want in a relationship. You know, like, he's not the kind of person I would want a relationship with, but at least it's consensual. But if he just took them without their knowing, then that's really, really creepy.
Well, so, I mean, I have a hard time criticizing people and maybe their fetishes, right? Certainly, like, this isn't something that I would personally do, and I think that that's, a little bit of an odd thing, but he's an adult and he's entitled to have this if this is given consensually from his previous partners, right? Now, my big concern, as you have said, is that this is likely, it seems likely that this might not be consensual, and that right there kind of makes me concerned, especially given the amount of time that how long this relationship's been going on. It's not a very old relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that she says, oh, well, I'm in love with him. You're 5 months into a relationship and now you found something that is a deal breaker for you. And that at that point in time it's time for you to walk away. You're allowed to have deal breakers, but you're not allowed to throw away people's stuff, even, as in poor taste as it might be, right?
Well, I mean, I feel differently if it was stolen. Like, it really depends. The ethics depend for me on whether they were stolen goods or not.
Yeah.
Because personally, if I were, well, and it's hard too, but like if she knows the names of any of his exes or any of the people who would have their underwear in this bag, like it might have been worth reaching out to them and just like being like, hey, just so you know, he has your underwear stored in a bag under his bed. Because I would want to, well, it's, I don't know what the right answer is there, but like if they were ill-gotten, I think throwing them out is the right action because these women do not deserve to be unconsensually part of his fetish.
Yeah. Well, and another possibility is that he's lying about them being, from his previous partners and that he wears them himself, right? And it was just easier to make up a lie like this and to not face the embarrassment, if you will, about having a collection like this. So that's why I would have a hard time really without knowing more about the nature of this collection and everything like that, to judge one way or another on that. It's an odd situation, though.
It is an odd situation, and I mean, if he bought them himself, then it's whatever. Like,
yeah.
But I'm just really concerned about him taking other people's stuff for a fetish that they did not consent to.
Yeah. It also doesn't seem like he was hiding it at all. I mean, it was in a duffel bag underneath his bed. So that doesn't indicate to me that he sees any problem with this at all. And again, like if this is a deal breaker between OP and him, then the right course of action, I feel, is to end the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for not wanting to throw my dog a birthday party? And Amber wants to read this one.
I'm a 29-year-old male and my wife's a 25-year-old female, and we are unable to have children, and after many losses, we decided to quit. My wife then adopted a puppy and recently another dog. I love these dogs, but my wife literally treats them like they're our children. Sometimes she goes a bit overboard, but so do we all. Sunday is our dog's birthday, I guess, and she, of course, wants to do a little something. She ordered him new toys and treats and wants to bake dog-friendly muffins. I went to the grocery store after work, and she called me and asked if I could pick up candles and party cups. I asked why, and she said because she wanted to throw the dog a little party with her parents' dogs. I told her no, that that's way overboard and that they have no idea it's his birthday, so we're just wasting money. Who would even blow out the candles? And why does she need cups for dogs? She said should put the muffins and other goodies in the cups, and it's just a fun, silly thing to do, and that she'll pick up the stuff she needs on Sunday if I don't want to do it. I told her no, she wasn't going to because she's not wasting money on something silly like that. We got in a fight about it, with me saying she was being ridiculous and going way overboard, and her calling me a buzzkill and that she just wants to have a little fun with her babies and she doesn't understand why I was being so rude about it. She says I'm being a jerk, but I don't feel like I am. Am I the jerk?
All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, OP, you are absolutely the jerk. Let your wife have some enjoyment. It is not hurting anyone to throw a little party for the dogs. And like babies, like when they're 1, 2, they don't understand it's their birthday, but you still throw birthday parties for them a lot of times. It's not so much for the kids as it is for the other loved ones in their lives to celebrate this milestone. The same thing could be said about the dog's party. This isn't about your dogs or your in-laws' dogs acknowledging the birthday. It's about a chance to celebrate this milestone in the dog's life with your in-laws.
I say it is a waste of money in the sense that so many other things, hobbies, other activities that we enjoy are also wastes of money in the respect that they don't serve any purpose other than to entertain us or to provide us a way to gather with other people, right? I mean, certainly, like, I think that you could argue any number of things that he probably does are wastes of money as well, right?
Right, and I don't see it even as a waste of money because it's something to bring joy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like buying a couple birthday candles and cups is going to probably break the bank. I would understand if she wanted to have like a catered birthday for the dog at like an expensive venue or something. But a couple birthday candles and some cups, it's like, that's so inexpensive.
Well, I'm not saying that it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that you could classify anything you wanted to as a waste of money. And the thing is that you have to prioritize what you think is important, right? And those things that are important are going to require resources in some way, shape, or form. And I think that he needs to understand that this is important to his wife, and that's why she's doing this. And, it doesn't matter it isn't hurting anyone. It isn't causing any harm. They're just having a little party, and for the adults to get together and have a good time, and maybe to also treat the pups as well. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that.
Right. And I know this doesn't matter to you, OP, but why are you so intent on stopping something that your wife really wants? Like, why can't you be happy for her to be happy?
Yeah, I mean, if this was prohibitively expensive,
Mm-hmm.
like they were flying their dogs on a 5-day trip to
Yeah.
Cancun or something like that, yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a different situation. But this doesn't seem like overly expensive or anything like that. It's not a financial burden in any way, shape, or form. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for eating half of the cake that my husband made? So my husband likes to bake. He doesn't do it a lot because of obligations. He made a cake on Friday and I really liked it, so I ate some of it. He didn't like that I ate it, saying that I ate too much, even though about half was still left for him and our kids. I don't know why he got so mad about it, because he could just make another one. But now he's being a little bit of a baby about it because he swears up and down that there's nothing left. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, OP, you are a major jerk here. You ate half the cake before your husband and children, multiple children, could have any. Like, family cakes should be, roughly proportioned based on the number of people in the household. You shouldn't have one person eating half the cake and then having like four people dividing up the rest. That's not fair. And being like, oh, well, he could just make another one is so like lacking in awareness of the time and energy that goes into this. It sounds like he has a lot of obligations. I don't know why Opie puts that in quotation marks, but there's lots of things he's doing. He doesn't have time to just sit around making cakes all day.
Yeah, I think OP is being very self-centered and
Mm-hmm.
selfish because they too can make a cake.
Yep.
And I know that this seems like, I mean, I know they left half of the cake here, but I mean, come on here. Like, did you have to sit down and eat half the cake in a day before anyone else got a chance to have a piece of it? And I think the answer to that is probably no, but I think I'm hoping that this is just like a small cake.
Well, I mean, that somehow makes it even worse if Opie ate half of a small cake and then has like at least three people splitting the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's just one of those situations where I think that OP is being greedy and selfish, plain and
Well, and
simple.
the entire post, I like comes across like the way they talk about their partner is just so. What do you even love this person? Like, I don't get the vibe that you do. You just see them as a means to get cake.
Yeah. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, My husband got me a vacuum for my 50th. The title says it all. I turned 50 yesterday. My husband, a 53-year-old male, woke me up, told me that he had a surprise for me downstairs. I go downstairs and I see a vacuum. Not even wrapped, mind you. He said that he thought that I would like a new one since the current one doesn't have the ability to turn off the brush roller when I use it on hard floors. I never asked for a new one. It works fine. That was my birthday, not even a lunch or a dinner out. He mentioned a month ago about doing something special and going on a trip. I asked about that, and he said that he figured that I would tell him when and where I wanted to go. He never asked where, but did mention several times over the past month that he had a surprise for me. Apparently, it was a vacuum. We've been married for 17 years. And am I the jerk for hoping or expecting that maybe he could have planned a surprise for me with something? Anything. Something more than an Amazon next day delivery vacuum. When he turned 50, I took him to Hawaii. Maybe I'm just being hypersensitive. Turning 50 has been a hard number for me. Parents and grandparents all passed in that decade. Edit, thank you to all the numerous people who reported my post to the Reddit Crisis Cares. Not necessary, and to the mean trolls saying get a life, no one cares, don't be a gold digger, or the thought that counts. I wish you nothing but success and prosperity in life. Peace. Edit 2, it's a Eureka Power Speed Canister Vacuum. All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. It definitely sounds like there's a mismatch of effort and energy in this relationship. OP planned her husband a vacation to Hawaii for his 50th. OP's husband was like, well, you didn't tell me exactly what you wanted, so I just got you a vacuum cleaner. It sounds like she's never hinted to him that she wants a vacuum cleaner. He just decided that, well, seems like a better vacuum cleaner, so I'll get you one of these. Like, household appliances are generally bad gifts unless you know specifically that someone really wants a vacuum cleaner. Don't get them a vacuum cleaner as a present. And yeah, just the lack of like, he couldn't even be like, oh, OP, what would be a good week to go on vacation? Do you have any places you would like to go on vacation? He just expected her to know that when he said that, she would just come to him with an itinerary and be like, here.
What is wrong with this man, right? Like, this is a cliche at this point in time. Everyone knows not to get their partner a vacuum cleaner, and somehow this man has missed that memo in particular, or just doesn't care, right?
Well, that's the thing, it's either he's just like checked out, like he's not really invested in OP. He doesn't know what she wants after 17 years together. He's just like, oh, vacuum cleaner.
I mean, I think that this is, at this point in time, like, this is such a cliche, this is such a trope, that this has to be malicious on some level. No one can possibly walk into a 17-year-long marriage one day and just be like, 50 years old, that's the birthday vacuum cleaner one. That's the birthday birthday vac that is the birthday you're supposed to get people vacuums for. I don't know. Like, this is like maybe his subtle way of asking for a divorce. I don't really know.
I don't know what it is, but OP, I would say, like, maybe marriage counseling. Like, if you are invested in this relationship, definitely I would say match his energy here. So don't go out for his.
No, don't match his energy. Just re-gift the vacuum cleaner to him.
Oh, that's great. Well, I feel like that's kind of matching his energy.
Just literally re-gift the vacuum. Be like, oh yeah, your birthday.
Yeah, I know you were really excited about how this one, can turn off the rollers on the hard floor. So clearly, you really want this.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think that this is just unnecessary and cruel at a certain point, and that he clearly he has to know what he's doing here. I just can't see how anyone wouldn't know what they're doing here. Flabbergasted.
My theory is that he just waited until the last minute and just was like as Opie says, like Amazon next delivery, was just like, what can I get her that will be here tomorrow, and just like grabbed a vacuum cleaner.
I mean,
although he said he had a surprise for her, so wait, weeks. He'd been planning this for weeks, and his big surprise was a vacuum cleaner?
I mean, it could just be that his surprise fell through, or maybe this is a joke. I mean, maybe this is a joke and he actually does have like something for her at some point in time, but it's a rather cruel joke if it is a joke. I don't know. Maybe he got mad at her for something and decided that to return the original gift and get her a vacuum instead.
That would be rude and like does not show strong communication.
OP is a bad Redditor from the first story where they ate the cake, or second story where they ate the cake. And so now OP's husband is angry about this, and there's like, they're going to eat half the cake. I'm going to give them a vacuum cleaner for their birthday.
Yeah, all the counseling in that case.
Well, let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
What did the pencil say to the doodle?
Oh, the pencil said to the doodle, I do doodle you. And they got married.
Why do you look so drawn?
Ah.
And today is Scribble Day.
So scribble something down somewhere on a piece of paper. Maybe not on a piece of paper, a wall. But don't.
Probably not unless it's the wall you own.
Yeah, if it's a wall you own, you can make a permanent doodle there. Good advice. Good advice. Well done, Brian. You can pat yourself on the back for that one. And I have licorice spice. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Friday, Junior, folks.
Happy Friday, Junior.
Thanks so much to Amber for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
And folks, we have a live stream coming up tomorrow. For more information, please see this chart here. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on inconsiderate partners.
Sometimes when something doesn't matter to you, but it matters to your partner, it's a good idea to support them. Like if your partner wants to throw a birthday party for your dogs and it's not like from financially prohibitive, it may be best to just, let them have the little party and have that joy.
Or let them just have their bag of underwear.
Well, no, see, I think that's, again, there's an issue there.
Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.